I think way back in 2013 or 14, I don't remember exactly the year, but then that really helped me a lot. It gave me a lot of knowledge as well, apart from football coaching. So, in terms of management, so that really helped me how to manage a club, how to scout for players. And yes, although I never had any difficulties in my footballing career, but still I try to do that because you never know. If today I was dreaming to become a coach or give something back to football, the only way I can give back in football is being a coach. So if all the times you're not lucky to be a good coach, so if not as a good coach, so I always thought like, I can at least give it back in terms of scouting. And that is what I did my course way back in 2012 in UK. So, and that has been helping me. And even now in Calcutta, when I'm around, I love to scout for guys whenever I go to certain places, when I've been called as a guest watching those matches, whether it's youngsters or some good talent I see in some guys. I always go to them and tell them, you have got a good talent, make sure you take it seriously. Or if any help you needed, like, please let me know. So this is what I love doing because, football has given so much for me and I want to give it back to football. And anybody who wants a help from me, I'm always ready to do them.
Wonderful, Alvito. Alvito, obviously we are getting a bit of feedback, but also I think I'll just try to kind of manage the setting a little bit because your voice was a little low. Just give me 1 second before I move on to Bibyan. Hi people, just give us a minute. I think the speaker's audio is a little low. That's the feedback that I'm getting from Mandar, Kaitan. Anyways, for all of you, I think the recorded version definitely would be put up immediately across. So you are not going to miss anything. So recording is being right there. But if you missed out some bits and parts of it, I think you can kind of revisit the link immediately as soon as the show is over. So what do you, Bibyan? Yesterday was definitely a very interesting day. The fixtures for the AFC under 16 scheduled to be in Bahrain came out, and I still remember the last time we played the quarters against South Korea, and South Korea drops back into our group. So Bibyan, when you started off, obviously you from Saligaon, and similar to what Alvito said, he had a lot of support in the family. So as a player based out of Goa, how did your journey really start? And what was the kind of sentiment that was going through, which definitely could be very, very different than what Alvito experienced. So tell us about it. Your family's reactions, the support that you had, concerns that you might have had certain times because of drop in form, injuries, or whatever it is. So how was your journey?
Thank you, Sukkhi. Hi, everybody. Hi, all people who are here. Nice to be here. As you said, Sukkhi, my career in football, when I started liking football in my village, there were a lot of boys who were playing football, and luckily, my two elder brothers were very religiously following football. So going about with those boys, I was also playing, village football, sometimes in the village, sometimes open tournaments. So that started how I started from my village. So yes, there were mixed reaction about my families. When I was when I wanted to take football as a career, first thing I wanted to change my school, where in my school there was no football, and there was another school who was doing very well in football. I used to hear Suprodo Cup, they used to win the cup and all, and I told my family I want to go in that school. My brothers were supporting me, but my parents said, "What are you going to do playing in football? Like, you need to do some job, you need to earn some money and all." So, but my brothers supported me, and then after seventh, I joined that school and I played for the school team. I played Suprodo Cup. We won the cup, state tournament, and we represented Goa in Delhi. So that is how it started. And after that, I went. I was in Sai Hostel. I was in Sai Hostel for 2 years, where Sushil sir and Francis D'Souza sir was my coach. And 2 years I had a very good training. There I learned so many things, staying in the hostel and being living as an independent, and how to mix up with players, how to be with them. It was a really nice experience for 2 years. And then actually really after Sai, after 2 years in Sai, my career did not pick up actually. Then I started working. There was no much opportunities for me at that moment, and I started working. And I also opted for another career where my family wanted me to go, and I did F&B course also side by side when I finished in Sai. So side by side, I was working in a hotel, and when one coach saw me play in a trials, and he called me to sign for one of the clubs in professional clubs in Goa. And that is where I started playing professional football. I signed, but I did not end up signing that club, but I signed for another club where I got an offer with another club. So uh, uh, initially, when I signed for the professional club, it was not a good start for me, because I was starting, and I had signed for a top club in Goa, where all the stars of India was playing, and I was a youngster. Then I had to come down towards the another clubs where I could play regularly. Then I signed for another club and then started playing. So that is how it took off from me. And of course, there was a time, Suki, when there was a drop in your form, and there was an injury where I was out for 8 months, and I had thoughts of leaving football and going for that career where I was looking for when I was young. So that was the time where I was struggling, and even my family was pushing me to leave football and go in Goa for a player, whether it's not football, it is you go on the ship or you make a Portuguese passport. That's the two thing what Goa is like, after your footballing career. So that my family was pushing me to go on a ship where I could work, like my brothers were there working on the ship, and really supportive to me, and always supported me to do what I want, and they really encouraged me to become a football player. So that phase passed, and my injury somehow got healed. And as you know, at that time there was no proper care of injuries. There were no, so many things have changed in football now. So there were no physios with the team. We had to take care of ourselves, come home, treat my injury, do whatever I can do, talk to some experienced players, and get that injury done, and then you yourself has to get yourself fit and get into the team. So somehow, by God's grace, my injury got healed, and I started playing well. And then after that, I started enjoying my football in sporting, especially when I signed Sporting Club de Goa. That is where I started enjoying my football. So after that, it was a good journey of playing football, going and also getting into the national team. It was a good journey. So yes, thank God, it was. I did not leave football at that time, where when you form drop down, or you get injured. There is a phase of injury where most of the players leave football and take another route. So yes, that was a good journey for me as a football player. Yes, okay.
Right. So, Bibyan, definitely the drop in form is something that can be very, very difficult. Now, fortunately for you, Bibyan, by the way, there's a comment from Abhishek Wakankar, all the way from Pune, Bombay. He's saying salute to Bibiano. He used to glide around and make football look so easy during his time at Sporting Club de Goa. I think he's watched you very, very closely. Yeah, Abhishek. So you have something more coming up from Bibian. But Bibian, and fortunately, you kind of recovered. Maybe you need that bit of physical recovery as well as mental strength to get back to where you got back to. But I've seen so many other kids uh, and who definitely couldn't manage that particular phase, right? And so many players that we've seen across India who, because of the lack of the right kind of physiotherapy or the kind of attention, medical attention you need, they couldn't kind of really carry on. So, what is your advice to those people from a very practical point of view?
Suki, I was very fortunate to have my brothers who support me, in whatever I wanted to do and whatever financial help I wanted. So I was fortunate enough, but some players are not fortunate enough. There are many players I know, Suki, who left football to support their families, taken up a job and, better talented than me, they were better talented than me in Sai Hostel. They were better talented than me in schools, and they were not fortunate enough to have that, family support, and where they had to support their family as soon as possible. And football at that time was not as it is nowadays, where you can make sign a contract and make a lot of money and support your family. So at that time it was not that good, so that's why they were not fortunate enough. So I would like to now it is so good that that the facilities has come, the physiotherapies has come, the knowledge has been grown of injury prevention and rehab, and then all those things have come. So I would uh, I would give it advice for the youngsters to love what you do, and keep doing, and enjoy yourself while you're playing football. Yes, there are times while playing, when I was young, I never had a doubt of about the injuries and all, because when you're young. But as a parent now, yes, maybe my brothers might had that. But as a coach, as a parent now, yes, there are concern. What if you get an injury and you're nowhere then, so yes, but keep working hard, and most important is you have to have blessing. You have to pray. Yes, okay.
No, wonderful. I think that's where it's coming back to a lot of players that we speak to. I think it's not only important what the players think, but also what the families and the close peers that they have, as well as the circle that they kind of operate in. I think the mental strength definitely plays a very, very big role. And Vivian, as far as I remember, it is not only about the players who are yet to make it in the development stage. Within Goa, again, I can think of so many examples where uh, the players were pretty much at the peak of their performances, and in a very short duration they had to kind of exit the professional world. I still remember
Yes.
in about 2005, I used to hear stories about Victor Lobo, how fantastic a player he was, and somewhere or the other, in a very short span of time, he decides to do something else. And this is where our conversation is coming back to, which is about the plan B. I think as a player, definitely you enjoy football, playing football because that's your first love. But over a period of time, things definitely can become a little bit of a little uncertain. It's not only about kind of the time after you stop playing, but also when you are kind of going out and playing. So I think what really kind of matters is pretty much the close circle, the family that also really understands the ambition of this player and guides them in a very practical way. So this kind of brings us to kind of pretty much the halfway of our conversation. We might be getting logged out for a minute, and you might have to kind of come back on the same link. In the meantime, there've been some comments where I think there's some bit of audio trouble. So guys, when you come back, Clifford, Denzel, Vivian, and Alvit, just look at the audio settings again and try to kind of keep it on full. Because I think for some reason, I think the voices from the panelists are not kind of coming out. Any which ways, moving on to Clifford, uh, and yeah, Jules Alberto also has kind of joined. Jules, we are working on the sound. Maybe when we kind of relog back in, I think we'll be able to sort that out. Let's hope so. Otherwise, the recording is going to be pretty much available as soon as we exit the live. So we've got it covered for you. Don't worry about that. So Clifford, coming to a situation that you are finding yourself in. AFC Pro League, AFC Pro license. Is it a journey that you thought, from a long time back, or it happened over a period of time? My conversation again, when I speak to somebody like Wim Kovermans, I think he always saw something special in you as a player, somebody who was a lot more educated, somebody who could kind of question a lot, very unlike a lot of other players who are programmed in a very different way. So where did this ambition come from, Clifford? Tell us about when did you really start thinking about what I need to do once I hang up my boots?
Hey, Sukkhi. Hello, everyone. My evening greeting to each one of you, and thank you for the invite. Like you said, the question is when did it really hit me? To be honest, to be brutally honest, I never wanted to be a coach. Everyone knows that. For me, the most important thing was once I play. Most important thing was play football, of course, and to quit football, to leave football when I'm still good. When I am still good, rather left by others, rather than being asked by others to play football. I always thought I will leave football on my own terms, and that was exactly. But what happens is, when you're in the initial stages of your career, when you're young, when you're up till the age of say 24, 25, 26, you start you just play football as how the coach asks you to, or you focus mostly on your game. Once you are 27, 28, you start thinking more about more tactically about your position, about the team, more about the team than yourself. And that is exactly I started doing when I was after 20, 27, 28. But it was in relation to improve my game and to improve. That was more of it. But then slowly I started taking interest in the team tactics as well, as to how the team is playing, the opponent is playing, and but it was like all down to better myself and a way how where the team can win. And once I started becoming the one of the senior players in the team, the coaches whoever they were started responsibility, which added to my added to me being taking more responsibility by knowing about different aspects, especially as far as taking up coaching is concerned. The first thing that really hit me to take the game, even the thought of coming back into the game was when I saw Arthur Parker when he joined Temple. I just loved the way he prepared himself. I loved his organizational thing. Apart from, especially when it came to video analysis, especially when he prepared the team with different systems, by keeping the same structure, by keeping the same style of play, by keeping the same philosophy. He used different methods, he used different structure to go about own team as well as the opponent. That impressed me. And then for me, I started my coaching badges like right when I think it was way back in 2014. But that was just a backup, just a backup, just a backup, like to keep something ready if something doesn't work out. Because for me, once I quit football, I thought like I will be totally out of it. And then one thing led to the other. Again, I did my B license was a backup. Again, and to be honest, even when I did, it was plain backup to just to maybe I work out on something apart from football, and if it doesn't work out, maybe I can always come. And then but the person who impressed me most was Arthur, with his Arthur as well as of course, as well as. But yeah, with Arthur, I learned a lot. I worked with him very closely. I learned a lot of things, especially when it comes to analyzing opponent. Analyzing the way how opponent plays, opponent plays, I learned a lot from him, Klamata. And then, like I said, when I was in Churchill, and it was my last year, Derek was the coach there, and once it got over, he gave me a call, asked whether I'll be interested in joining Goa's youth development, FC Goa's youth development program as India reserve team. Initially, I was hesitant, but finally I said, like, let's give it a try. And then because for me, anything you work into, you must give 100%. And once I got into it, I started taking, of course, I was very much interested in working because that's my work. But then I started taking active interest in it. The game, I started, liking it. I started loving it. The coaching sessions, I used to, I always, I used to prepare well in advance. And